Encrid and his team soon reaches the front line. He thinks that it has been 2 days since they arrived here, and so far, no significant battle has taken place. The enemy has only sent small raids. Amidst the thoughts, our protagonist is lifting a boulder while still having all those injuries. He's practicing like his usual self and thinks this is the best time to recover from his wounds. Odden shows up behind and calls Encrid as squad leader brother. He asks how his body is holding up. Encrid puts down the rock and says his body is holding quite well, thanks to the fairy ointment he received. Odden asks if he would like to have a light spar with him in that case. Is he up for this? Our boy never denies a duel and says he is in for this. Just a few moments later, Odden defeats Encrid by getting on top of him. Encrid pants heavily, and Odden says this is no good. When he sparred with that frog, his right hand got injured. And now his shoulder is injured, and he has bruises all over his body. He believes it's still too early for him to exert full strength. And he knows that very well, that he would join the battlefield if a fight breaks out. He asks Encrid if that is right. Encrid agrees, and says he'll fight as long as his body moves. Odden looks around and sees there's no one near here. Odden once again calls Encrid as squad leader brother, and Encrid asks what it is this time. Suddenly, Encrid notices a strange aura illuminating near him. Odden starts channeling his power onto Encrid while he stays on the ground. Encrid soon recognizes that this is the holy power. Odden keeps channeling the power into Encrid through his hand. Once the process is complete, he lifts up his hand. Encrid looks at Odden and goes to say something. However, Odden tells him not to say a word about it. He holds his hand, which is trembling. Odden tells Encrid that he shouldn't talk about this to anyone. He needs to swear to the Lord that he won't do it. Encrid gets up and says he won't tell anyone. Odden starts leaving and says that the riverbank fog is also a blessing from the Lord. Encrid thinks that holy power is the proof of a priest's true faith. This power has the ability to heal the wounded. He has seen Odden pray to God every day, but he hasn't shown this power to anybody even once. So nobody knows that Odden is a true priest. Odden prays to the Lord and begs for forgiveness. Encrid wonders if using holy power is bound by church rules or something. He thinks that Odden wasn't supposed to use this power, but he did it anyway for his sake. Encrid starts leaving and thanks Odden for it. Odden thinks that inquisitors will come if they find out that he used the holy power. He left the church while carrying many restrictions. To prevent even the slightest use of holy power, he placed a seal upon himself. Even though it felt like an awl was piercing his heart, he just couldn't stand by and do nothing. He prays to the Lord and says he never answers back. But after he met their squad leader brother, he began to believe that his words are within him. He tells the Lord that he'll act according to his heart. The scene shifts to Encrid and his team having food. Rem places the empty bowls, and Encrid applies the ointment. Kreis offers assistance in applying the ointment, but Encrid replies that he'll do it by himself. Encrid thinks that Odden's power didn't give him a full recovery, but his wounds closed up in an instant. If he has to keep Odden's secret, he shouldn't let anyone see this. He also needs to be careful that he doesn't stand out in the battle. Encrid rubs the ointment and asks Kreis when the actual battle will start. Kreis replies that both sides are watching each other right now. He explains that their battalion is led by Commander Marcus, which is deployed at the front to block the bypass. Meanwhile, their main force is on standby at Green Pearl. In the last war, both sides broke the unspoken rule by sending sorcerers and squires, so now the enemy is probably bringing their full night force to get ready for the battle. Rem says that they should have joined the main forces. In this place, there are only one-on-one duels or little skirmishes. Kreis says that won't be the case for long. This tense standoff won't continue like this. Soon enough, the soldiers march to the front line. Soldiers on Encrid's side blow the horn to prepare for the war. They say that the enemy is coming. Encrid and his team also get ready to face the enemy head-on. Their platoon is led by Commander Marcus and the ferry commander. 3 Aspen soldiers march towards them. An enemy soldier calls them half-baked greenhorns. Rem says that these Aspen bastards are talking nonsense again. He asks if they are saving those swords to chop meat or something. Kreis thinks that the enemy is waging a psychological war here. Unless a powerful knight joins their army, they will remain equal in strength and number to the enemy. That's why their enemy plans to break them mentally before the fight starts. The enemy makes fun of them, and Kreis thinks they could shoot the arrows, and those 3 enemies would be dead. But with their morale already being low, they will lose the fight if they start it. The commander also knows that, so that's why he's not making a move. Marcus thinks that he does have a plan, but he is not sure if it will work with their morale being so low. If he uses those maniacs to shake things up a bit, then it will only backfire. He thinks they only need some sort of spark here. Kreis also thinks the same. If they have one incident to change the mood, then it will boost their morale. The enemy calls them poor virgins and laughs at them for having such a pathetic life. Encrid steps in and tells Andrew to calm down. He proclaims that he'll get his chance to vent his anger. Andrew remains puzzled by Encrid's words as he's already calm. Encrid speaks further and says it's fine. There's nothing to be embarrassed about being a virgin. He should save the anger for battle. Andrew says he's not angry. Other soldiers wonder what they are saying. Encrid tells him that this is not the right time for it, and he needs to hold it in. Andrew's team members remain surprised and wonder if he was holding it for so long. Rem bursts into laughter at Andrew, and Odden also asks if he would like to use this chance to devote himself to God. Ragna says that his time will come, probably. Andrew asks why they are all pulling his leg like that. Rem couldn't hold his laughter and pats Andrew, saying he shouldn't worry about that. Other soldiers wonder what's wrong with those lunatics. They ask if a virgin took the bait. They start discussing that the boy looks healthy, but if he's still a virgin at that age, then it's truly unfortunate. Everyone starts making fun of Andrew, and he asks if they won't shut up. He's not mad at all. A soldier says he can take him to a good brothel in the city. Andrew replies he doesn't need it. Jackson asks Encrid if he's teasing Andrew on purpose. He didn't know he had a mischievous side as well. Encrid replies that he was comforting Andrew, as it's normal for him to get worked up too much. Rem couldn't hold his laughter and kept laughing. Kreis wonders if Encrid is joking or if he's serious. He couldn't understand whether he was acting on instinct after sensing the mood. He thinks that he's a strange guy for sure. Kreis stops Encrid and asks if he wants to go out and say something. Encrid replies he doesn't intend to say anything. Kreis says that he has a plan then. He whispers his strategy, and Encrid thinks this is not too hard. Kreis remains confident that their captain can turn this battlefield around with his devil's tongue. The change he starts will cause a ripple effect. The soldiers make way for the lunatic squad, and they say it's Encrid. They cheer for them to show the enemy their true power. Kreis also thinks that Encrid will now open the path to victory.